I wanted to do a fire update. We've been here, what has it been, 5 days, or are we on day 6? Can't remember. Anyway, the first day that the fire kicked off, it was to the west of us, and a good distance to the west, and it was burning north. So we actually thought for a second that we would be okay where we're at. Iris made the call like, hey, let's get the horses out of here. So we evac the horses before there was any real pressure on us, because they're hard to move. Got them moved out of the way, and then the fire, which had gone north, shifted direction and started stripping back down to the south. And that's when it was headed our direction, albeit slow. We packed up all our stuff, got the animals in cages, the cats in cages, the chickens in cages, the dogs all ready to go, cars loaded, so on 2 minutes notice we could be gone. We made the call to stay through the night. We watched the fire creeping down the hillside from the north. I decided to fire up my tractor around 1:30 in the morning and worked all night cutting fire lines through our pastures up here, and then trying to knock down some of the brush under our bigger fir trees. Came into the next day. The next day was pretty mellow, and then the winds kicked up and the fire crept around behind a big hillside that was coming right down on our property. And so it started moving fast, and I'm talking it was moving like a beast, heading our direction. I showed videos of trees just going up like torches. And that's when more fire acid started to come our way. This lowboy comes rolling up the street. It's got a big dozer on the back. A guy piles off the dozer, hops in it, and he starts cutting this fire line on the hill up behind our house. Then more fire engines arrive. Then Brian, who's the lieutenant, who's the incident scene commander here, he got there and he kind of explained to me what they were doing and what they were setting up. Was they were going to cut these fire lines on the hill between the fire and our house, 2 of them, and then they've got these things called shock crews, which are a bunch of just badass firemen that are going to go out there and try and hold the line. And then they also had a defense set up in depth. So I went over away because I wanted to watch these guys go out and do their job. And they were dirty, they were intense, they had big yellow jackets, and I'm talking it's hot out, and these crazy big tools. Everybody had a different tool. They all looked heavy and impressive and looked like they do, and they all had that 1,000-yard stare in their eyes that I haven't seen since the battlefield in either Afghanistan or Ramadi. And they leaned into it. I watched them from a distance because I wasn't right there, but I watched them circle up, talk about something, and then just go off in a line towards the fire. And then they held that line and stopped the fire from coming down to our house. And then during the night, they lit some backfires. They cut more hand line up in the corner. And I walked last night where they cut the hand line, and they cut line where it was hard for a billy goat to walk, and I was spelled just walking up there with nothing on, let alone carrying big tools and having heavy jackets on and stuff like that. Over the course of the last couple days, we've had different sets of ground crews come through. They're all super awesome. They all have like crazy facial hair and piercings and tattoos, and they just look tough as nails. And I tell you what, if I was a pirate captain today, the first place I would recruit for sailors would be on these hand crews, because they're just a bunch of badass individuals. It's just been something else to be up here, watch the whole community come together, and then all these firefighters come in to support us. So where we're at today, everything coming down from the north and from our east is pretty much burnt. There's no more fuel, but there's still high winds coming. There's still a lot of fuel to the west. There's still a lot of fuel to the south. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're in a position where with this community and these maniacs, that I think we're pretty safe. So that's where we're at right now.